So this is my Formula Mazda. That's one of my pups. Say hi, Pod. One of my other pups, Callie. But anyways, so last weekend had a race at Hallett with the Common Series, and I won the Saturday race. But right after the race, I looked over after the podium, and I saw like a huge puddle underneath the car. Found out that it was fuel, and discovered a bunch of tears in the bladder. So, but yeah, they're everywhere. So I was able to source a used fuel bladder. I wasn't able to get a new one in time for the SCCA Eagles Canyon race. I was able to source a used one. Luckily for me, it was really cheap, so I saved a ton of money. So they could basically make it to where I can get another set of tires for ECR. And yeah, just currently in the process of switching all of this stuff over. My original setup had the 2 hoses, and basically this allows it to where you can pick whichever pickup hose you need, depending on the they're both placed on either side of the tank. So if you have a track that's primarily left-hand turns, you need one of used to pick up on the right-hand side of the tank, and or vice versa, just for you know, whenever you're under heavy loads in a certain corner, all the fuel is going to go to one side, so you want to use the pickup where all the fuel is going to be at. Okay, so just swapped everything over, ran both of the lines on the back side to each corner. So now, depending on what track I'm at, I can actually pick which pickup I want to use. I'm sure it probably won't matter, but just in case. So yeah, now it's just time to put the fuel bladder back in. Okay, so we have the bladder installed. Everything went really well, super easy. I mean, they're made to fit this car, so it shouldn't be difficult at all. So now next step in the process is to install these interior panels. There's one right here that goes against the back that'll actually cover up the fuel bladder, and then there's those 2 panels over there, and those guys will cover up these sides right here, including the shifter and all this wiring and stuff. I can install the one that covers the shifter linkage, but I can't install the one that covers up these wires because I just installed this AIM dash, and so far all I've installed is the oil pressure and water temperature. I still have the brake pressure sensor coming, and I mean, I'll probably do some other ones as well, but just for the time being, that's what I'm going to install. I'll put the brake pressure sensor right here. This is actually just a switch to trip the brake light, which I no longer, in SCCA you can't run that. I think this car was ran in the Havoc Motorsport region or something. I'm not really sure, but I guess they require brake light, but with SCCA you don't. It's actually illegal, so I'm removing that, and I'll replace that sensor, or that switch rather, with the brake pressure sensor. Run the line down here, and after I run the line, then I can put the interior panel back in. But yeah, I'll install the covers that I can, put the filter back on, button down the oil filter housing, install the oil filter, install the oil, put some fuel in it, and hope that she starts. Okay, so as you can see, we've changed location. I figured it would probably be a smarter idea to wait. We have to rivet these in, so I would hate to rivet all this stuff in and then go to fire it up only to find out that there's a leak or some issue or whatever that would require removing these again. So I just put oil in, new oil filter, tighten down the oil filter housing. I'm about to put fuel in, and yeah, I'm gonna do a fuel cycle to make sure there's no leaks, make sure everything is operating how it should, and then try and fire it up and make sure everything's good. And if everything checks out, then I'll proceed with riveting in all the panels and go from there. So fingers crossed. All right, so I hooked it up. So there's 2 lines like I was showing you before, and I hooked the feed to this one, and for whatever reason it wasn't creating any fuel pressure. So it might actually be this one that has the other line connected to it, and that one's just capped off. But at any rate, I connected it to this one, and we have fuel pressure. So I'm going to button this back up, and then the next shot should be of the car running. Very cool. All right, so yeah, everything went really well. So I do have water temp and oil pressure, but sadly my pup, this guy, he's right there. He's being a mountain goat right now, but or a billy goat or whatever you call those things. But anyways, he decided it was a good idea to chew on one of the extension harness things that allows you to run the sensor all the way to the dash. And I tried to repair it, but it didn't work. So unfortunately, I only have one way of measuring one of the sensors. So water temp was working, but I mean, on first startup, it's not really crucial to know what your water temperature is at. So I actually switched it to make the oil pressure show up on the dash, and I had 70 pounds. So that is great. So yeah, I'm gonna continue with installing the interior panels and pretty much call it good. So yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully there's no other issues, but of course, the car is going to get dynoed this weekend to make sure everything's good with the engine, and then it's also going to go to Formula Mazda over in Crescent to have it corner balanced and aligned. That way for next weekend's race at ECR, I've got the best possible machinery to hopefully go out and get a win. And just like that, we have our panels back. I must say, compared to a road car, working on these things, I mean, it's so much better. It's so much easier. I'll say that now, in probably 5 minutes, something crazy will happen and I'll be eating my words. But I mean, for now, I mean, everything I've had to do has been, I mean, it's been fun. So, I mean, obviously, this is a learning experience. This is my first real race car. But, I mean, it's been fun. Even, you know, installing the aim dash and all that stuff, it's actually been, it's been cool. So I think from here I'll go ahead and get my, so I had a bunch of padding installed and I had to rip it all out whenever I was taking all this crap out. So I'll put that stuff back in, and I mean, from there we're almost done. All right, so we finished basically buttoning everything up. I think I already showed you that all the panels are replaced. I got the Smarty cam installed. I had to trim some of the bodywork for that to fit. I got these little foam pads installed. It kind of helps like brace my upper body. I don't have a seat yet, so this is all just kind of like, yeah, it's kind of ghetto, but I mean, it works. I'm gonna get one of those foam bead seats that you pour and it conforms to your body and all that good stuff. Just got to do that when the budget allows it. But yeah, I figured I would show what the car looks like with some body work. I mean, it completely, like, without the body work, it just looks, the car just looks silly. But at least with the body work, it looks like a race car. So yeah, I did a bunch of little stuff. But yeah, the primary job was to fix that fuel cell, and that is done. I think along the way I installed a new clutch slave cylinder just because the old one was like really rusty looking. I mean, it worked fine, but aesthetically it just looked like crap. And I'm just trying to bring the car up to 2022 standards. Obviously it's an old car, so it's not very easy to do. But yeah, I removed the rear lower belly pan underneath the engine, power washed that, got it all cleaned up, replaced the transmission fluid with some Redline shockproof. It's the blue stuff. That's what I was recommended to use. And yeah, that pretty much is it. So I have a race next weekend at ECR, sorry, and basically the plan is to get this car to Moses at Formula Mazda so he can do a complete corner balance and alignment, because I haven't done any of that stuff since I've gotten the car. So I have no idea where the setup's at or anything. I've just been driving it, so no idea if it's even set up right. So I'll have him do that, and then basically how it's going to work out is, since ECR is so close to Crescent, ECR is in Decatur, and Moses is over in Crescent, Texas, so it's like an hour. So I'm just going to have them bring the car to ECR, and then I don't even have to tow the car there. I can just bring my trailer empty, save on some fuel, and yeah, get there and be ready to go. So I think what I'll do is probably end this video here, and then I'll probably do like a blog style video during the race weekend, and I'll probably do like a prep video of, you know, getting all the stuff together, everything that I take to the race, and all that good stuff. So until then, I'll see you.